Up, YouTubers and lovers of budget cars and bikes, welcome back. It is the day after we did the video on the auction bikes at Synetiq, and we're back here again. As you can see, I've just logged into my account and we are looking at the bikes that are coming up. As you can see, pretty soon this Triumph Street Triple 675 2016 is coming up in about 35 minutes time. It's currently on 2290. I do have written down in a book somewhere close to me how much I think it's worth and what I would bid for it and what I think it's going to be, what it's going to take to fix it, and what I could resell it for. We'll go through that in a minute. The 2010 Street Triple R, that's at 8:10 so far with 38 minutes. The big one, the RS 1050 Speed Triple, is at just over £3,000 at 3,120 with 38 minutes left. The MT, which I'm not interested in because we spoke about that in the first video, that's up at 1,910. The one that has surprised me is the Ducati Hypermotard 821. Now that's a 2014, so that's getting on for 8 years old, and it's already at 3,1, which I find a little bit odd. We're going to go through the figures in a minute, what I think these bikes are worth, and we'll discuss why people are paying so much money. And I don't remember actually having this Ducati Motard, Hypermotard in my list at anywhere near 3.1. So we're going to go into that in a minute. So stand by, and what we'll do is we'll just come back in when there's about 5 minutes left, and we will go through what's happening with the auctions with, 5, 3, 2 minutes left, and see where they go and see what these bikes actually achieve. Now, bearing in mind, this is now December the 29th, 2021. So it's not the right time of year to be selling a bike, but it's a great time of year to be buying a bike. So we'll see what these bike prices do on Synetiq auction in regard to what I feel their values are, and compare them to what's actually for sale that hasn't been crashed on eBay. So stand by and we'll pop back again when there's 4 or 5 minutes left. So we're back now, guys, on the Synetiq auction for the bikes that were in my watch list from the original first video. I hope you've seen that. I'll stick up in the right-hand corner where we discuss buying salvage bikes, crashed bikes, stolen, recovered bikes from Synetiq. And we touched on buying stuff from Copart as well, but this is purely to be Synetiq. As you can see here, I'm logged into my account. These are the bikes that we were looking at on the first video. There are 5 in total. I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, 5 in total. And these are bikes that I would possibly be interested in. Now, there's about 3 minutes left on the Triumph Street Triple 675. Now, if you remember from the first video, there's not a huge amount wrong with this. It is a Cat N. It's done about 9,000 miles. From the pictures, it needs a front wheel. The exhaust has got a couple of clunks on it, but generally speaking, I can't see very much else wrong with this bike. Even on the left hand side here, there's not very much that's obvious. Now, that's not to say there aren't hidden things. This is what this whole series of videos is all about, really, to try and give you some advice and show you some examples of what you can get at Synetiq in respects of, are they a bargain? Are these bikes worth buying? Are they worth bidding on? Can you make any money? Or if you're just buying a bike for yourself, is it worth doing? Are you going to save a buttload of money by buying a salvage bike? Because it's a question that gets asked a lot. Now, we've got 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes left or something on this Street Triple. Now, this is a 2016, as I said, with, I think it's 9,000 miles, Cat N. We'll go back in because I want to see what they say about it. I believe okay, the engine starts, the drivetrain drives. That's always a good thing, 9,000 miles. Light damage all over, runs and drives, age-related scratches and dents. Now, that's a good bike to buy. I don't know why they've written it off. That always kind of rings alarm bells for me because, you're not going to write off a bike for nothing. As the old adage says, they don't write them off for nothing. But they have done. It's a Cat N. There's 2 minutes left. Now, I've got written down in my little ledger down here what I think it would be worth spending on this bike. Now, I think the value is around about £3,000 thereabouts. If we just pop into here now, you can buy from a dealer, as you can see, the 675 ABS, same colour scheme with half the miles for £5,500. If you offered them 5,400, they'd probably take it at this time of year. So if we said £5,500 for that one, now that's not crashed. That's a nice looking bike. It's got half the mileage. It's from a dealer. You get warranty. Now, so if it's crashed and it's a private sale, you've got to take £1,000 off for the price because it's a private purchase. So that makes it 4.5. The fact that it's crashed means I think it should be going for 3.5. Now, bearing in mind, this is already at 2.4. There's 1 minute left. 2.4. What would you pay for that? I mean, bear in mind also the fees. So you're looking probably, if you bought it for 2.4 right now, it's going to cost you 2,750 thereabouts, 150 quid to get it home. So you're looking taken just under 3 grand for a Cat N bike. Now, as I said, bear in mind, oh, that's the wrong one. Bear in mind, where is it? This one here. Just under 3 grand. You could buy a non-crashed one from a private seller for probably 4.5 grand. Take £1 off of this one because obviously this is a dealer with warranty. So private sale would be, or should be, around about 4.5 grand. Now this one here is crashed. It's not from a dealer. There's no warranty. There's no guarantee. It's sold as seen. And that is going to cost you the best part of, say, 3 grand. So you're getting it 500 quid cheaper. Is that worth it? Is it really for an unknown bike? I don't know what is going on with bike prices at the moment. They just seem to have gone ballistic over the last couple of years, probably with COVID. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if anybody else is going to bid on this. I had my maximum bid on this at 2 grand based on the fees, the transportation, and what I think I could sell it for, which would be 3.5 grand. So this is going to be touching 3 grand by the time it gets to your door, even at 2,410. Is anybody else going to bid on it? Or is it going to be a relatively... No, there we go. People are going to start to bid on it now. It doesn't necessarily mean that, obviously, it's just going to keep going up. But as I said in the first video, every time you bid, it goes up by like 10, 15 seconds. Now, that's 2,440. Obviously, the other ones are still clicking away down here. That makes things really bloody awkward as well when you're buying from Synetiq or any auction site, I think, because you've got to keep an eye on all of your stuff at the same time. Because this one, see, now that's gone up to 2,470. That time's changed from 6 seconds left to 1 minute 6 seconds left. This one hasn't changed because no one's bid on it. So this could end up, as in this street triple here, the black R with the gold wheels, that could end up going before the one above it. Because if people keep bidding on that, then obviously that time's going to increase. Now, as I said, 2,470 with fees and delivery to your door, you're looking at 3 grand, I think. I think personally, because where are we? I've got to find it again. Because I think you should be able to buy one privately for 4.5 grand quite easily. So this shouldn't be more than 3.5 grand because it's a crashed bike. So 500 quid less? Yeah, I don't know if I'd go for that, to be quite honest. 22 seconds left. Let's see what's going to happen with it. Obviously, this video could end up being 5 minutes. It could end up being 25 bloody minutes. I'm hoping it's going to be of some interest to you guys. If you like this kind of content, do drop it in the comments because I'll do some more of it. I'm not bidding on any of these bikes today because if you remember from the first video, I said you should call the salvage company if it says it doesn't start, just to make sure that that is true. Now, the problem with Hills is the first couple of times I did call them, they did answer the phone and everything was fine and dandy. They talked me through the bike. Now they've just got a generic answer machine message saying, sorry, we can't talk to you over the phone anymore. Use our chat. Their chat is a bot. I sent them an email. They haven't got back to me before this morning. So I don't know whether this Speed Triple RS 1050 ride starts. I don't know if the Yamaha starts. This one says it does. I don't know whether the Black Street Triple starts. Anyway, let's get back to this 57. Well, basically what I was trying to say was, you know, until I find another way to actually ascertain whether these bikes start, I don't know what to tell you now because I went from my previous experience where I could call them. Now I can't. This Street Triple, the first one up here with 40 seconds left, it does say it starts and drives, and I believe the Hyper Motard also says it starts and drives. The three in the middle just say they don't. So I don't know. The Speed Triple 1050, the dash is on. So it's like, well, if it doesn't start, why does the dash come on? But would you take a chance on that? Because that is an expensive bike to try and fix if you don't have the tools and the knowledge to fix it. Right, so the 2016 Street Triple, which has very minimal damage, we know starts and rides, and it's up at 610. So that's over 3 grand now, in my opinion. And as I said, if you can buy one privately, say for 4.5 grand, which hasn't been crashed, it should be at 3.5 grand being a Cat N. Now you're already at 3 grand. So you're making a saving, don't get me wrong, you're saving 500 quid and it is a lovely, lovely looking bike. But that is going up. It's just popping up and up and up every time we look. But as I said, look at the Speed Triple here. There's only 30 seconds left. That could end up going before the one above it. 6220. Yeah, all right. So we're going to have to basically fuddle through these. And as I said, it's bloody difficult to see. The Speed Triple 1050, that privately is about 8.5 grand uncrashed. That should be going for 5 grand. But it does say it doesn't start. So are people holding back? It's at 3,720 now. So that's 4 grand to your door. The top one, it's got 35 seconds left, the same as the black one. The black one has surprised me with its pricing. We'll talk about that in a minute. They're both going to go around about the same time. Now, I've priced up, as you remember from the first video, the front forks, the front wheel. They come to 500 quid just for the front forks and the front wheel. So bang that on top as well. Plus the rear seat cowl we spoke about, the rear peg, the front mudguard. Add another 100 quid for that lot there. So that's at, what's that one just keeps going, that Street Triple. That's way beyond what I would pay for it. The black one with the gold wheels, the Street Triple R, I would say, I think there's actually one up here somewhere. No, that's just the wheel. I thought I had one in my watch list. I haven't. They are around about, I thought I had one. Yeah, okay, Street Triple R 675, 3.5 grand. That is private, uncrashed. Now, if you look at these fees, that's at 3.2-ish by now. 3.5 grand to get you one. Oh, sorry, we're down here, aren't we? I'm getting confused, as you can see, with all these bloody numbers. The black one here, 3.5 grand will get you a non-crashed one. This one here is already at 1,500 quid. It needs at least 500 quid spending on it. That's, say, 2 grand to your door, fixed. That's not bad. That's actually a really decent price. The Speed Triple, that's not climbing the way I expected it to, if I'm honest. I don't know why people aren't bidding on that. I can only assume that that's because it says it doesn't start and it doesn't ride. I don't know what's going on with the hyper motard that's down there. We'll have to try and catch up with all of these at the same time. But as I said, the Street Triple 675 up here, which needs very minimal work, you can buy one, I would think, for 3.5 grand uncrashed. So that's over 3 grand, well over 3 grand so far on that one. So I think that's beyond its price range personally. Because as I said, it's not just 2.7, it's 2.7 plus 300 quid in fees, 150 quid to get it to your door. Yep. I don't see the value in that. 8 seconds left on the Black Street Triple 675. Now, as I said, that's going to be 2 grand by the time it's fixed. Is it going to get anybody else? No, it's bit. That's a good price. That's a very good price to go for that. 1,360. Now, bearing in mind, as I said, I don't know if I've got it here, set of forks, 200 quid. We'll get rid of that now. The wheel, which is just here, that's 250 quid. So 450 quid, I would say 600 quid would get that Black Street Triple up and running. So, yeah, that's not a bad price, I reckon, for that. 5 seconds left on this Speed Triple 1050. That's never going to go for under 4. My God, somebody has got the bargain of a lifetime. Now, as I said, bear in mind, that's done 1,000 miles, that bike. 1,000 miles, and it's gone for sub 4 grand. 4.5 grand to your door. That's an 8.5 grand bike, uncrashed. That is amazing value. The one that's surprising me, though, is the Street Triple 675. It's 2.8 and it's still climbing. The Hyper Motard, again, 3.5 grand. I think I've got one up here. They should be about 5 grand, I would say. Something along those lines. Okay, that's selling. That's 4.5 grand. That's 4 grand rather by the time it's got to your door. That's not bad. 4 grand for a Hyper Motard, 2014. They should be 5 grand crashed as a private sale. That's pretty good. I got to say, I'm impressed with that price at least. So there are bargains to be had. The Street Triple in black, great price. The Speed Triple 1050 RS, an amazing price. I missed what the MT9 went for, but the Hyper Motard, yeah, I mean, again, 4 grand to your door. If we look up here, they're 6.5 grand. So, and that's private. So 6.5 grand, call it 5 grand because it's been crashed. There's a grand to be made there. Quite easily. That Speed Triple 1050, that was an amazing price. This one here, somebody obviously, or a couple of people obviously want this bike. For whatever reason, as I've said, you can buy one. We might as well get rid of that now. You can buy this one here, 5.5 grand, uncrashed from a dealer. 4.5 grand private should be where you need to be. Crashed, 4 grand. Absolute maximum 4 grand. By the time you paid 2,840 here, plus the fees, plus the delivery, see, that's going to be now 3,300 to your door, somewhere along those lines. You can still make money on it, but it's an unknown. You don't know what else is going on with this bike underneath its clothes, as it were. So 3.5 grand. Let's get back into that. Yeah, 4.5, 4.5 uncrashed private, 3.5 crashed. Yeah, 3.5 grand should buy you a crashed one of these, and this is already getting close to 3.5 grand. Where's the profit? Somebody must really, really want this bike. Yes, I know it needs minimal work, as we've said before. Well, as it's the last one, we'll just pop back in. It's a beautiful looking bike. I can't see what's wrong with it. It says it starts and drives. The forks aren't bent by the looks of it. It needs a wheel and it needs an exhaust. So if we said you spent 500 quid on this bike, that would get it done and ready for sale. But bearing in mind, I think they're worth £3.5 grand. So if you paid that plus the 500 quid, there's your £3.5 grand. There's also another 500 quid in fees and delivery. There's your £4 grand. And for 1,500 quid more, you can buy one from a dealer with half the miles and warranty that hasn't been crashed. I don't see the logic here in this price. Doesn't make any sense to me. We may as well stick with it for a second, guys. I'm sorry if this video is going to be a little bit long. We may as well stick with it and see what it finally goes for. And as I said, if you like these kind of videos, then subscribe and we will do more, but I'll do some live bidding where I bid on stuff and we'll see whether I actually win anything. So Street Triple RC, when I had this down at £2 grand, that would have been my bid on that at £2 grand. I don't know why people are bidding so much on it. Maybe they know something I don't. But as I said, the Speed Triple 1050 RS, £4 grand. I am gobsmacked that went for £4 grand. My max bid would have been 5. If they'd have contacted me and said, yeah, it does start and it does ride, I would have bought that. I would have been all over that like a rash. But as I didn't have the knowledge I needed, which is such a shame. I should have called them 2 or 3 days ago, or I should have emailed them 2 or 3 days ago. But I assumed, like the first time round, I could call them the day before and they'd tell me. That was my stupidity. I missed out on a bargain of a bloody lifetime there. The Black Street Triple 675 with the gold wheels, that's another bargain. It went for what, £2 out the door, 500 quid in parts, 2.5 grand. It's easily, you'd easily make 500, 600, 700 quid on that. And they are sought after. There isn't actually a black with gold wheels on eBay at the moment. That's how sought after they are. This one here, I don't know why people are bidding like crazy on here. As I said, 5.5 will get you one from a dealer that's uncrashed with half the miles. So why are people paying 3.5 for a crashed one by the time it gets to your door? I mean, that's got to be its value surely now at 310. As I said, 300 quid in fees, 200 quid to get it to your door unless you're going to go and pick it up. Add 500 quid, I reckon. Plus, I think you need to budget 500 quid. Because the wheel's probably 250 quid. The exhaust is probably another 150 quid. So, yeah, 500 quid in parts, I reckon. So this is £4 grand getting on for. By the time you get this to your door, this is £4 grand. And no, 4.5 grand will get you an uncrashed one privately. I'm sorry if this video is going to take a long time, guys. I might try and pause it if it carries on like this, because this is getting a little bit ridiculous when it comes to how many people are bidding on this bike. Unless you've seen something on here that I can't see. As I said, there's this one here, which is exactly the same bike. It's done half the miles. It's from a dealer. It's not been crashed. Offering 5.5 grand, you'd get that. This is already at 4 grand, and it's been crashed, and it needs 500 quid spending on it. So this is easily 4 grand. And 4.5 grand would buy you a private one easily, because the dealer always whacks £1 grand on top. So, no, I don't see the value in this. You could probably make a couple of hundred quid on it, but I can only assume this is somebody who really wants this bike for themselves. They're not thinking about profits, and they're thinking, okay, for 4 grand fixed to my door or thereabouts, that's a good price. That's 500 quid less than I could buy a crashed one. But it's still going up. This is getting a little bit ludicrous. As I said, I'm sorry if this video is going on a little bit, guys. I'd never expected this Street Triple to go to, well, it's easily 4 grand. I'm hoping it's not going to go on for much longer, because my bloody voice is giving out here. 18 seconds left. 3,430. I don't see the value. And I'm sorry to keep going on about it, but 500 quid in parts, and, you know, the things you can, obviously, there's going to be other things you can't see. Plus fees, plus delivery. That is 4 grand, 4,250. You could buy one uncrashed for 4.5 grand. Right, so it's finally sold at 443. So in fees, another 300 quid minimum. Delivery 200 quid, 4 grand plus 500 quid to fix it, 4.5 grand. As I said, for 5.5 grand, you can get one from a dealer with half the mileage that hasn't been crashed. I don't see the value in that. Anyway, that's it, guys. I hope you've enjoyed that. I hope it's been of some interest. As you can see from what we've just watched there, you can get a bloody bargain. That Speed Triple 1050 RS for £4,000. That's a £10,000 bike in a dealer working. All right, maybe an £8,000 bike in a dealer, Cat N. That's an amazing deal. Even the Street Triple, the black and gold, that's a pretty bloody good deal. There was at least 500, 600, 700 quid to be made there. The Hypermotard, yeah, probably £1 grand to be made there as well. So if you're thinking about doing it, you've got a little bit of experience, a little bit of knowledge, a couple of tools in your toolbox and the space to do it, do it. You know, that would be my advice. If there's a bike you want and you think you can fix it, have a look at Synetiq. You know, you've just seen live there how much these bikes go for. There's some amazingly high prices, but there's some bloody bargains as well. If you haven't subscribed, do that. We'll make another video. Drop it in the comments if you'd like to see some live bidding. And I really hope it's helped, guys. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch up again in a couple of weeks.